Imagine a country where different communities speak different language. They are following different religion as well, and they have a very diverse culture as well. Now, imagine one more situation where the power to take decision regarding all these subjects is in the hand of only one person or one religion or any one particular group. What would happen in such a situation? क्या होगा ऐसे सिचुएशन में? Well, this is where the concept of power sharing comes in. It ensures that none of the groups are feeling alienated in the government. And this chapter of power sharing is based on the same concept. So let's dive deep into the story of ethnic tensions and cultural divides and how did two different countries manage to come out of this situation. So we'll begin with the story of Belgium here. So hello everyone, this is Sumit and we are studying chapter 1 of Civics class 10th power sharing. So if I talk about Belgium, it's a very small country in Europe. Here it is. So let's check out the facts about this country. So it's in Europe. The population is around 1 crore, very small than Haryana as well. However, the ethnic composition is very complex. 59% of the people living in the Flemish region, they speak Dutch language. 59% of the people living in Flemish region, they speak Dutch, not this one. Okay. And then we have what? Again, 40% of the people living in the Wallonia region, they are speaking French. You can see here again, this red one, Wallonia region, not this one again, German it is. They are speaking what? French. Okay. Now, so what is the problem here? The problem here is in this thing only. However, before that only, there is one more situation that is the capital city of Brussels. In Brussels, 80% of the people are speaking French and only 20% of the people are speaking Dutch. Now, one thing you must have noticed that the country is having the majority of the population is Dutch speaker, जो कि फ्लेमिश रीजन में रह रहे हैं, है ना? However, capital city have a very different situation here. Capital city में फ्रेंच जो है वो मेजॉरिटी में है एंड डच स्पीकिंग जो है वो माइनॉरिटी में है. नाउ अब प्रॉब्लम क्या है यहाँ पे, क्या टेंशन है, किस तरह की प्रॉब्लम्स है? तो सबसे पहला प्रॉब्लम है पैसा, इकोनॉमिक डिवीजन. French elite people, the French speaking population, since beginning they were economically and politically dominant. एंड वेन एवर सिचुएशन लाइक दिस अराइजेज, ये सत्य है कि जो सामने वाली जो कम्युनिटी है उसके अंदर कहीं ना कहीं ये रिसेंटमेंट रहता है. पड़ोसी आगे कैसे निकल गया, ये तो देश के अंदर दो कम्युनिटीज की बात है, isn't it? Then Brussels was creating another problem because in Brussels, despite the entire country में Dutch majority में थे, Brussels में again French speakers का dominance था. So what was happening कि यहाँ पे एक dispute वाला situation था, a friction was there in between these two communities. Now it was a tension. अब अगर प्रॉब्लम है तो उसका सॉल्यूशन भी है ना? बेल्जियम ने भी उसका सॉल्यूशन निकाला एंड द सॉल्यूशन वाज एक्चुअली वेरी यूनिक, है ना? एंड कमेंडेबल थिंग. क्या किया बेल्जियम ने? सो लेट्स चेक आउट. बेल्जियम ने इस प्रॉब्लम को सॉर्ट आउट करने के लिए दे अमेंडेड देयर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन 4 times and they came up with a very innovative system of power sharing. First thing which they did was equal representation in the central government. कैसे? बोला कि फ्रेंच एंड डच जो मिनिस्टर्स होंगे इनका नंबर विल बी इक्वल, कोई भेदभाव नहीं. ठीक है. अब कोई भी बिल पास करने के लिए यू नीड द मेजोरिटी. अब is it possible here कि only one particular community can gain the majority? Not possible at all unless until you are not getting certain support from the other community, and so goes the vice versa. Okay. Similarly, if there is certain special law, maybe I mean, any law, maybe say कि that is impacting the lives or the livelihood of French or Dutch people, यहाँ पे था स्पेशल मेजोरिटी. स्पेशल मेजोरिटी कहने का मतलब है कि लेट्स से कि टोटल 100 सीट्स हैं. अगर 100 है तो फ्रेंच के पास 50 है और डच स्पीकर्स के पास भी 50 है. अब 50 का मेजोरिटी क्या होगा? तो इसका 50% बाई 1 + 1 26. यहाँ पे डच के लिए क्या होगा? 26. तुम समझ रहे हो? दोनों से ही मेजोरिटी चाहिए, दोनों कम्युनिटी का सेपरेट मेजोरिटी लोगे, देन ओनली यू कैन डू दिस थिंग. So it was a very nice arrangement. तो इसमें फायदा क्या हुआ कि none of the community can dominate over the other. Now the second thing was decentralization of power. पावर को डिसेंट्रलाइज कर दिया. हाउ कम? कैसे किया? So they transferred the power of the central government, है ना, by giving it to the state government. What happens in decentralization when the power of the central government is shared till the lowest level of the government? Maybe Panchayati Raj. Here, in case of Belgium, we'll read about the community government. ठीक है. तो central government is not only the supreme power here, the state government and the community government is also having certain level of power, and they have a say, they have a call in the decisions of the government. Similarly, they made a separate government for Brussels. For example, in India as well, we have a very separate government for the capital city of Delhi, isn't it? Delhi have a chief minister. Despite that, Delhi में ही अपने PM, president and all the major executives are there. But despite that thing, the union territory of Delhi is being managed by a state government there. तो यहाँ पे भी यही किया गया. ब्रुसेल्स की अपनी एक गवर्नमेंट बनाई गई और वहां पे भी सेम पॉलिसी रखा गया. इक्वल रिप्रेजेंटेशन, फ्रेंच एंड डच, है ना. यहाँ कैसे हो गया ऐसा? फ्रेंच तो यहाँ मेजोरिटी में थे. फ्रेंच यहाँ इस बात इसलिए मान गए क्योंकि पूरी कंट्री में डच मेजोरिटी में है, एंड दे वर रेडी टू शेयर देयर पार्टिसिपेशन थिंग. And so that's why it was very easy call for the French people as well in the capital city to share the power with the people. And then the community government, the last level of government जो मैंने आपको बताया था. So this was for each linguistic group, Dutch, French, and German. है ना? What was their responsibility? Their responsibility was over the culture, education, and language related issues. So they were sorting all these kind of issues. अब इससे फायदा क्या हुआ? The biggest benefit that Belgium got because of this arrangement was stability and unity. थोड़े बहुत disputes हुए थे, that was true, and that happens in any of the situation. है ना. बस उस dispute को smartly handle किया बेल्जियम ने, है ना. उसने जितने भी सोशल ग्रुप्स थे सबको accommodate किया बिना किसी डिवीजन या फिर बिना किसी एक मेजर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के. And that's why Belgium is a symbol of what? Inclusive governance, है ना, in a very deeply divided society. Now let's check out the case of Sri Lanka. है ना. इन्होंने क्या किया? Again an island nation, population is around 2 crore, similar to हरियाणा. इसके एथनिक कॉम्पोजिशन की बात करें तो यहाँ पे सिन्हला स्पीकिंग जो मेजोरिटी है दैट इज 74%. लैंग्वेज वाला ये कौन सा रिलीजन फॉलो कर रहे हैं? बुद्धिज्म. तमिल स्पीकिंग में 18% है, एंड इट इज डिवाइडेड बिटवीन टू, श्रीलंकन तमिल्स एंड इंडियन तमिल्स. श्रीलंकन तमिल जो है वो नेटिव है 13%, एंड इंडियन तमिल्स 5%, जो कि डिसेंडेंट है जो प्लांटेशन वर्कर्स लाए गए थे बाय द ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट, एंड देन 7% क्रिश्चियंस. ओके ना. सो दिस इज द कॉम्पोजिशन. अब श्रीलंका ने किया क्या? श्रीलंका गॉट इंडिपेंडेंस इन 1948, एंड जैसे ही इनकी सरकार बनी तो जनरली डेमोक्रेसी में क्या, डेमोक्रेसी में आप देखोगे कि मेजोरिटी इज रूलिंग, मतलब मेजोरिटी मेजोरिटेरियन गवर्नमेंट बन रही है, मेजोरिटी ने जिसको सपोर्ट किया दैट थिंग हैपेंड. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ श्रीलंका में कि सिन्हलाज फेवर्ड those who were, I mean, those who were Sinhalas, उनको फेवर मिला सिन्हला कम्युनिटी से, and the result was that Sinhalese people were able to form a government. Now once the government was formed, they did a mistake. ये गलती इनको करना नहीं था, but they did that. Sorry for this. So in 1956, they came up with Sinhala Vanli Act. So as per this act, the official language, the sole official language of Sri Lanka became what? Sinhala. So कहीं ना कहीं लैंग्वेज वाला जो सेंटिमेंट है वो हर्ट कर गया तमिल लोगों का. Then they came up with the preferential policies. Preference देंगे. So in all the government jobs and university admission, college admission, everywhere, Sinhala people were given preference. First priority was there for the Sinhala people. And then the next thing, religion is the opium for masses. They promoted Buddhism. When you are, if the government is promoting one particular religion, what is happening? जो भी दूसरे जो भी religion है, X, Y, Z, whatsoever the religion are there in the state or the society, they might feel alienated from the government. And this alienation always leads to our dissatisfaction. And this dissatisfaction might bring a situation of tension in the society. Now, what happened with the Tamil people? in such a case. So as I said, you alienated. They started to feel alienated from the government. They faced a lot of discrimination because they were now not getting jobs. They were not getting admissions for colleges and universities, and of course, they were denied of a lot of political rights as well. They felt like they are being treated as second-class citizen because of their language and culture. All these things were being ignored. So what they did, प्रॉब्लम है यहाँ पे, टेंशन है, बेल्जियम में भी था, तो इन्होंने क्या किया, दे स्टार्टेड टू डिमांड, है ना, द रिकॉग्निशन ऑफ तमिल एज एन ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज, एंड दे डिमांडेड रीजनल ऑटोनॉमी, कि हमें हमारा एक सेपरेट एरिया दे दो, है ना, एंड इन दिस सेपरेट एरिया वी तमिल पीपल विल लिव, वी विल फॉर्म लॉज एंड वी विल रूल फॉर आवर पीपल, एंड we will not be demanding anything from you in that case after that. However, all these demands were denied by the government. Now what happened? If the government is if the government is favoring one community, it is something like in a class, if a particular teacher, XYZ teacher is favoring one student and some of the students are no not very favorite to the teacher, what happens? दिल के अरमा आंसुओं में बह गए, isn't it? Distrust and tension. तुम्हें लगता है कब इसका माथा फोड़ दूं? वो चीज यहाँ भी हुआ, है ना, श्रीलंका में। हुआ कैसे? तो श्रीलंका में जो तमिल लोग थे उन्होंने अपना तमिल पॉलिटिकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाया, एंड दे स्टार्टेड अ डिमांड फॉर अ सेपरेट स्टेट, अ तमिल इलम, LTTE करके जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है ना, लिबरेशन ऑफ तमिल टाइगर्स इलम, है ना, दिस थिंग स्टार्टेड, and gradually this LTTE and this demand for Tamil state became so fierce, and it pushed the state of Sri Lanka towards civil war, and this thing lasted for over 25 years. Thousands of the people were killed, lakh of the families were displaced, Sri Lanka's economy was devastated. During this time only the Indian Prime Minister was assassinated. So if you know the name, please let me know in the comment box. Now, if we compare the situation of Belgium and Sri Lanka, what we found that Belgium जिसने कि स्मार्ट प्ले किया, उसने पावर शेयर किया एंड कंट्री के अंदर यूनिटी रहा, एंड सबसे बड़ा फायदा कि कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं हुआ. ऑन द अदर हैंड, श्रीलंका and especially the Sinhalese government, which got so blind for power, and the government favored so much the majority community that it led to conflict and a separate and a section of society feeling alienation, and at the end আমি তো তোমার মাথা ফাটিয়ে দেবো রে, civil war. Now these two situations moves us towards the next point कि why power sharing is important, क्यों इसकी जरूरत है. अब हमें समझ में भी आ गया होगा कि पावर शेयरिंग कितना इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करता है. So for this thing, we will be looking at 2 points: prudential reason and moral reason. यहाँ से क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है, so please ध्यान रखिएगा. So as per the prudential reason, it says that power sharing is actually helping in avoiding conflicts, and it is true. I mean, we just saw in the case of Belgium here कि बेल्जियम ने पावर शेयर किया एंड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जैसा सिचुएशन नहीं हुआ. On the other hand, when Sri Lanka didn't agree to share the power, what happened? Civil war. ठीक है. अच्छा, इफ देर इज नो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, सो ऐसे केस में एक और फायदा होता है कि द कंट्री इज मच मोर स्टेबल, isn't it? So political stability was there, and there was no tyranny of the majority over the people, or over the minority people. Okay, and of course there was cooperation among different communities. Let's say example of Belgium itself. Belgium में Dutch और French speaking जो people थे, they cooperated with each other, and of course the German as well. They cooperated with each other, and सबने मिलके गाया, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा, isn't it? श्रीलंका didn't do so. तो श्रीलंका में तो फिर देख ही लिया आपने क्या हुआ. मोरल रीजन क्या कहता है कि मोरल रीजन इज एक्चुअली ये कहता है कि डेमोक्रेसी का जो प्रिंसिपल है ना, वो यही है कि पावर को शेयर करो, है ना, एंड दैट्स व्हाई इट इज रिफ्लेक्टिंग द डेमोक्रेटिक प्रिंसिपल्स, जहाँ पे सबका एक वॉइस हो. वॉइस कहने से कैसे, क्या हम सबको गवर्नमेंट में लेके आएंगे या सबके हाथ में एक एक माइक्रोफोन दे देंगे, ले भाई तू बोल, तुझे क्या बोलना है? नॉट पॉसिबल एट ऑल. Here, the meaning of the word voice is that We are giving a chance to the people to send their representatives in the parliament or the assembly house or the legislature of the country, isn't it? And through this voice, what is happening? The public participation is increasing. Plus, the public have this thing as well, that public have a belief that the government is legitimate because we have supported, certain people have supported the government, and then that government is working for those, the entire population. And that's why there is fairness in the government as well. I mean, let's say if if the Sinhalese government है would have accepted or would not have rejected the demands or would not have ignored the Tamils, what would have happened? Sinhalese and Tamils together would have sang a lot of duets, and might be possible that Sri Lanka would have seen a great progress. What happened at that point of time when there was civil war happening in Sri Lanka? This, I mean, in place of this graph, Sri Lanka became Pakistan. I hope you get it. Okay. So if any of the government, if any of the state is sharing a power between, the society, what is happening? There is more stability in the country and it is actually more practical and ethical. Now let's check out the forms of power sharing. किस किस तरीके से हम पावर को शेयर कर सकते हैं? Okay. So the first thing is power is shared at at different organs of government. Horizontal division. What is horizontal? यही वाली तो लाइन है ना? Legislature, executive, and judiciary, they all are working on the same plane. ठीक है? Their power is defined and they all are working as per that. And each and every organ of the government here is checking the work of other people. So what is happening? यहाँ पे tyranny जैसा कोई situation नहीं आ रहा या फिर यहाँ पे ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा जहाँ पे majoritarian जैसी रूल लागू हो जाए, है ना? So this is a system of check and balance. वो वाली check नहीं जिससे पैसे मिलते हैं, है ना? So this is a system of check and balance that each and every organ is checking the work of each other and they are maintaining a balance in the society. Okay, let's say for example, if tomorrow legislature makes a law and as per the law, let's say that law is violating certain rights of the people. However, the Janta is very much, I mean, not very aware that there is a flaw in the law. Wow. So what will happen in such a situation? Judiciary being the final interpreter of the law. The Supreme Court is the final interpreter of the Constitution of India. I hope you know this thing. So judiciary being the final interpreter, what will do? Judiciary might intervene into the law, and if it finds that yes, the law is violating the fundamental right of the people, it might ask the government to do certain changes. For example, in class 9th आपने पढ़ा था the recommendation of Mandal Commission, the SEBC reservation thing, है ना? 27% reservation was being given for socially and economically backward class. Now, a nationwide protest was happening. A lot of people said that a lot of people in the SEBC community are from very well-off family, and if they are also given the reservation, that might bring in inequality. What happened? Supreme Court intervened in that thing, and after that, what happened? The concept of creamy layer was introduced, isn't it? So things like this. Then vertical division of power. This is vertical division of power. That at the top we have the central government, and then we have the state government, and then we have the LSG, not Lucknow Super Giants. It is local self-government. Okay, decentralization of power, sharing power at the lowest level of till the lowest level. Okay, so when the power is being shared between central and state government, we call it federalism. But when it is shared till the lowest level, it is known as what? Decentralization. So in case of India, it is being done like this only. Okay, chalo. Then the power is also shared among different social groups. है ना? For example, Belgium की community government. Similarly, in India, reserve constituency for SC and ST. SC and ST के लिए constituency reserve है. Let's एक क्वेश्चन पुट करता हूँ यहाँ पे आपके लिए. Let me know in the comment box. SC के लिए पार्लियामेंट में पार्लियामेंट्री जो इलेक्शंस होते हैं, SC कम्युनिटी के लिए कितने सीट रिजर्व है और ST कम्युनिटी के लिए कितने सीट रिजर्व्ड है. ओके, चलो. देन The power is also shared among the political parties, pressure group and movement group as well. पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के बीच में कैसे होता है, देखो पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के बीच होता है ये इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कोalition गवर्नमेंट। जैसे कि एक्स वाई जेड है ना, और कुछ भी ऐसे ए, इन पार्टियों ने चुनाव लड़ा बट नन ऑफ देम गॉट द मेजोरिटी। तो क्या होगा ऐसे केस में, मे बी एक्स एंड वाई will come together and they will form the government, together they will form the majority। so ऐसी गवर्नमेंट को हम कहते हैं coalition गवर्नमेंट। बट व्हाट इफ कि ये तो सर चुनाव होने के बाद हुआ है ना, बट व्हाट इफ चुनाव होने के पहले ही एक्स और वाई बोले कि हम एक साथ चुनाव लड़ेंगे, उसको क्या कहेंगे, उसे कहते हैं अलायंस। so what is alliance, when two or more political parties come together to participate in election, it is known as alliance। But in terms of coalition, when two or more political parties are coming together and forming the government, it is known as what? Coalition. Okay. So here, this is how power is being shared among political parties through coalition government. Okay. किसी भी अगर सिंगल पार्टी को मेजोरिटी नहीं मिला तो ऐसा होता है। Now, in between pressure group and social movements or other movement groups, ये क्या होता है ना? चलो, तो प्रेशर ग्रुप जो है ना, they actually try to influence public policy है ना, और द डिसीजन मेकिंग। ठीक है, अब ये कैसे होता है, जनरली क्या होता है कि हमारे सोसाइटी में बहुत सारे यूनियंस है, लेट्स से ट्रेड यूनियन, लेट्स से फार्मर्स यूनियन, है ना। 2019-20 के आसपास में एक बिल आया था, फार्मर से रिलेटेड एक एक्ट आया था बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, बट व्हाट हैपेंड, that act saw widespread protest from the people. A lot of farmers union were very active in that thing, and finally the government was forced to go on the back foot and the law was repealed। so what is this, this is pressure group। they're not taking their, प्रेशर ग्रुप का मकसद ये है कि उन्हें जो है पॉलिटिक्स में इन्वॉल्व नहीं होना है, बट गवर्नमेंट के बाहर रह के वो गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर प्रेशर क्रिएट करते हैं, है ना। जैसे ट्रेड यूनियन हो गए, इन्वायरमेंटल ग्रुप हो गए, बिजनेस एसोसिएशन हो गए, एनीथिंग लाइक दिस, है ना। बट द मेन मोटिव ऑफ द प्रेशर ग्रुप इज टू क्रिएट प्रेशर ओवर द गवर्नमेंट, either to make certain law or to make change in certain laws, or maybe the case of repealing the law as well। so from being outside the government they create a pressure over the government। on the other hand, if we talk about the social movement or the social groups, I will prefer more here। so these are more informal group, है ना, and I mean they push for some social society related problems, culture or political changes as well, maybe women's right or environmental movement, and sometimes they also enter into the political arena, है ना। they are playing a very important role in shaping the political agenda as well, for example Arvind Kejriwal। okay, चलो, तो पावर शेयरिंग में है ना, दिस प्रेशर ग्रुप्स और द मूवमेंट ग्रुप्स आर प्लेइंग अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल फॉर क्रिएटिंग अ बैलेंस इन द सोसाइटी, है ना। इस बैलेंस की वजह से ही चीजें जो है ज्यादा आसान है। ओके, चलो, एग्जाम्पल ऑफ पावर शेयरिंग क्या क्या देखा हमने, है ना, तो फिर से देख लेते हैं। बेल्जियम की कम्युनिटी गवर्नमेंट थी, कोalition गवर्नमेंट और रिजर्व कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी, है ना। तो ये चीजें हैं। तो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट दिस चैप्टर। इसका पीडीएफ आपको, है ना, टेलीग्राम का लिंक मिलेगा आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में, है ना। वहां से यू विल मैसेज मी इन द टेलीग्राम, वहां से यू कैन बी प्रोवाइडेड, एंड द पीडीएफ इज नॉट फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट। ऑफ कोर्स द वीडियो लेक्चर्स आर फ्री, बट ऐसे ही इस सिंप्लीफाइड फॉर्म में आपका हिस्ट्री, सिविक्स, जियोग्राफी, इकोनॉमिक्स सबके ही पीडीएफ बने हुए हैं। सो यू कैन बाय एट ₹99 द इंटायर पीडीएफ, ऑल द चैप्टर जो कि आपके बोर्ड एग्जाम में आ रहे हैं। So you can put a message on the telegram, वहां से आपको the link will be provided। So I hope you enjoyed the video, thank you very much, bye bye।